I was in my government class the other day. We were going over some notes on the preamble to the Constitution when we came upon the words, "All men are created equal." Now, as we were going over these notes, he asked us a question out loud, which was not part of the notes on the overhead. It was just something to get us thinking as we went through it. He asked us, what are two groups that this might not apply to? Thinking back on our nation's history, we remembered some of the groups that did not receive this kind of equal treatment. Two of them are women and African Americans. You might also point out Indian Americans. So, of course, in the context of the notes, reading the preamble itself, we were able to easily understand what this question was asking. But a few days later, we took a quiz over our knowledge of the Constitution, and we had covered several other aspects of it. That was just one part. So we get to question number 16, name the 5 basic principles of democracy. But then we get to number 17, and it says, name 2 groups not mentioned in the Constitution. Because I had been there for the notes when we went over the answer to this question, I didn't really think about what it would be like for somebody who wasn't there that day. But I was brought to my senses when we went over the quiz and somebody came up with their paper and they looked at that question and they said, what does this question mean? I didn't get that. I mean, seriously, come on now. 2 groups not mentioned? Groups of what? The Constitution is a system of compromises. Groups of ideas, of liberties, of anything? How on earth are they supposed to know? 2 groups not mentioned in the Constitution. We don't even know that that's talking about the preamble. Face it, there is no way that anyone who missed that lecture could have gotten that question. Now, this sort of thing has happened in several other instances as well. It's not just a bad question from one test, big deal, get over it. It's actually something that I've seen has been a lot more consistent recently. I mean, just look at this. Number 5, what state did the plane crash? Number 9, give the quote of the fireman to describe the crash site. Number 16 through 20, name the 5 crew members. Interesting note on that, there were actually 7 crew members. I raised my hand and asked him about this, and he said 5 of the crew members. It's not really the best English. What? Correct me if I'm wrong, but if this says name the 5 crew members, that means name the 5. This does not say name 5 of the crew members. Now look, I'm not saying that every single teacher needs to make sure every question on every worksheet and test needs to have completely perfect grammar at all times. That's a good goal to work for, but realistically I understand that people make mistakes. That's not the issue here. The issue is that you have a man who goes around insulting other people and completely slandering another culture just because they're not American enough for him. And he goes around with this mentality that English is the only right way, but he can't even use it correctly himself. So, in closing, to all government teachers out there, if you're gonna go around saying that English is the only good language, at least use it correctly.